Good morning, good morning. Welcome everyone. Welcome to another beautiful week over here. Gotta turn on my flashlights here now. Watch these flashlights turn on. Boom. Oh, don't want it flashing all the time. All right, perfect. Um, looks like pound yen really came down to the levels we had yesterday. Yesterday we drew some areas where pound yen may come down to, like to retest. Looks like we did come down over here, came down to the same area we had identified. I think this happened overnight. Overnight price came down, but the most important thing right now, what we see on pound yen, is basically, oh, this is gold. My bad. Yeah. All right, let's take a look at pound yen. Oh, pound yen basically broke all these areas and came further down towards 139.070. Okay, okay. My bad. See you first thing in the morning, man. You guys got to cut me some slack here. All right. Looking at pound yen, basically we're coming down to a support area. I mean, because that's the reason we're kind of like rejecting. And this is the same area where we broke up on the 23rd November with the news over there. This was the vaccine news here. So looking at price action currently, what we do have is a resistance form right over here, right? We have a resistance form. Now, obviously, we may expect this price to continue moving down into the bottom of this range, but when we look on the 15-minute time frame, what we can see is that the candles are not closing bearish, right? They're closing bullish. We also have this resistance formed, and obviously, if price breaks above this resistance 138.370, there's a very high probability we can do some sort of a retracement here. So that's going to be something you'll have to watch out for. All right, let's bring other things on. Thank you for reminding me, man. That was gold. I was looking at that. I'm like, oh wow, man, our analysis was perfect. But yeah, we're just waiting here on pound yen. Basically, it seems. All right. Looking at gold, gold obviously came down to levels we had. I think gold and pound yen are kind of like creating the same structure here because we did come down. We're creating some sort of a resistance here on gold. And I mean, if do continue down to fill this range, so be it, right? And if we want to measure this range, it's like 26 pips and then down here to like 37 pips. Pretty good. But looking on the 15-minute time frame, this is where there's a big difference between wick fills and rejections, right? Because if you look on the 30-minute candle, 30-minute candle closed like a big wick. For it to continue down to fill this wick, you would need the 15-minute candle to start going bearish, right? But we got a support forming here, so it's kind of like small range at this point. If you were awake, how would you have caught the move on GJ? How would I have caught the move on GJ? I think the way I would have caught the move on GJ, I was actually in sells last night on pound yen. I took some sells right over here on the 1 hour candle, closed right down over here. I wanted to let it run, but then I decided to close. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm probably not trading this month anyway, so might as well just, take what I can and just call it a day. But I guess it moved further down. I think how I would have caught it would have been on the 15-minute when we started breaking the low over here around London Open. I think that would have been my trade idea to catch this move right over here. Yeah, as we started breaking the low at this point. And I know the gulag is now going to say, "Oh, I thought you weren't trading, man. Oh, I thought you weren't trading in December." Well, guess what? I only have one mom and dad, and only they can ask me questions. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is entered as price started coming down at this point. Price moved 8 pips in direction, managed to get around 10 pip pullback, closed around 10 pips. Oh, nice, closed fully at 10 pips. It was pretty rangy, like I'm not gonna lie, because as price started to come down, it started to throw these wicks, and those wicks must have thrown you off a little bit. But now essentially on 15, for price to really continue down, we need to break below 138.200. Right? If we can break below 138.200, then we can get price coming down towards, you know, like 137, 950, 974. We can start to look in those ideas. But as it stands right now, price is just ranging in this area, so we have to wait a little bit. Also, if we break above, I think a first good stop could be like 138, 600, you know, 650, those areas. So there's going to be a bit of waiting over here now. Let's take a look at your GPY. Actually, let's also take a look at what happened overnight that made pound yen move this much. So there was no pound news, obviously, you know, there was no pound news. There was some pound news that was bullish, but you know, it was a very, very small, very, very weak news over there. So let's take a look at the news area here. So, oh, ready to pull out of talks within hours over EU demands. All right. It was Brexit news. Someone said there was vaccine news. I didn't see that. It was just Brexit news here. What's this? On Brexit not looking good, UK failing to understand need for compromise. Yeah, it was Brexit news. All right. Let's take a look at our second chart for the day. Sent by Tony. Buys above here, sells below here, take profit at 80%. All right. Looks good. Let's take a look at let's take a look left, right? Let's take a look left and see what we have. So this is where we're forming a support on the 30-minute time frame, and we have to look left. Let's take a look left. So once we break below this area, our first target probably is going to be somewhere at 137,850, right? Because look, yeah, this is the area right here, 138, right? If we break below 138, we have all this room for price to come down towards in this clean area, and this is going to be around 15, 16 pip range. I mean, we start to get messy after that, but I mean, we'll have to be optimistic about that. So it's just gonna have to wait a bit right here. Perfect. Do you still do research on the weekend? No, weekends are like, you know, weekends are your time to spend with your family, man. Like weekends I'm not on the charts. The most I'm going to do chart time on the weekend is going to be on Sunday, probably about like 30 minutes. And then on Saturday, probably going to do some simulations, but that's about it. I don't look at the charts at all over the weekend. There's a gap on your GJ chart on market open. Would you consider that being filled, or is it ignored? I don't see a gap. Oh, right over here? Yeah, I think that gap was filled, right? Because look, we had support over here, right? Price came up, it reacted to this support, you know, and then it kind of like dropped down. So this gap was eventually filled. You know, because over with the weekend, price broke below 139,860 and it opened at this support 139,500. So once we break the support over the weekend, even with the gap, that area becomes like a retest area, right? So see, price came up, 30-minute candle closed bearish over here, and next one started to continue down, and eventually we had trickle down, and news came, and boom, bam, we continued moving further down. So, you know, one announcement I want to make is for everybody is, hey, listen, this is Monday. This is the first trading day of the week, right? Do not overtrade. Don't, if you've taken losses, just be cool, call it a day. There's Tuesday, there's Wednesday, there's Thursday, you know, just be calm. You know, right now price is ranging. There's nothing to do at this point, right? If we break below 138, let's say 200, then price can continue down in this range of like 18 to 20 pips, right? If we break below this area, then we have room to continue down towards 137,850, right? Those are two solid ideas. If we break above 137, 138, 380, 400, then we can continue moving back up. So now you just have to wait for price to come into one of these areas and then execute, right? So trading is a game of waiting. You're going to get paid handsomely if you wait. Let's take a look at this chart over here. This is candle break previous support at this point. Once it break the previous low, so you entered a sell at this point. Close 50% once this break. Okay, awesome. Yeah, it's still pretty good. So you anticipated price is going to continue down. So I guess once this 15-minute candle is closing bullish, I think you should close your entire position. Rather than hoping and praying it's going to go down. Because once this candle closed bullish 15-minute right over here, we have a support formed, right? And for your selling idea to play out, price need to break the support. But if it's going to respect the support, then the selling idea is invalid at this point, right? And then you just got to close your positions. Hey, Raja, there, could you please have a look on my chart? Coming from the gulag. Let's take a look over here. This is sells pound New Zealand below the support. Looks good. It's a pretty solid idea. I think you know what? Like a lot of people have really solid trading ideas. A lot of guys have good zones, good labeling, good solid ideas, but the only problem is with execution. And when you talk about execution, it's either entering too early or entering too late. And I think that comes from not being able to wait for candles to close. Because if we look at this area right over here, and so there are a couple scenarios that can play out, right? Either you can have a 15-minute candle closing bearish at this area and just tipping below the support. At that point you can say, okay, you know what, with the next candle we can continue down and we're going to take a sell, right? Another thing that can happen is that a candle may not close bearish. What can happen is that the next candle may close, let me get my candles here, next candle may just drop down like this. So if you were waiting for a candle to close kind of like this at support, now you've probably missed it, right? So you had a great trading idea, you knew what trade to take, but the candles didn't close in a way for you to execute. So then you start to look at these ideas and say that, okay, even though the candle didn't close with the confirmation, how could I have entered that trade? Because you missed it. And that's when your true learning happens, because then you start to look at trades that have already ran out and you were waiting for them, but you weren't in it. So now you're forced to look into that and say, okay, how could I have been in that trade? Where could I have possibly taken an entry? Because this situation is going to happen over and over again. And you just have to be prepared for it, right? So I always tell guys, hey, listen, if you're missing out trades, that's perfectly fine. That's actually better. It's better to miss out on trades rather than to be in a trade and to fear a loss. Oh, what a nice quote. It's better to miss out on trades than to be in a trade fearing a loss. Yeah. All right. Let's take a look over here. This is pound yen waiting for price to close above this area or candle to close below this zone. Perfect. So you're looking at bigger zones over here. Works out pretty good too. I would do the same too. I mean, this 15-minute candle is about to close in 30 seconds, and we got to see where it's going to close. Hey, Raja, you use EMA 1514 I saw in the webinar. Why did you stop it, and can it help me finding entries TPs better? No, I stopped using them because they would contradict my technical analysis at some times, So I stopped using them. Like technically, I would see buys or sells, and with the EMAs, sometimes I would see the opposite. So I was getting confused at that point. So then I had to make a decision, and the decision was whether to go with an indicator, which is lagging, or to go with price action, which is just not lagging at all. So we can see here this 15-minute candle, the previous 15-minute candle closed with no wick over here, right? And also closed above support. So there's a 50-50 probability that this candle can either go up or it can go down. So in this case, I would wait for this candle to close now as well, if someone's looking for any trades at this point. Looking at gold, gold is also in that area here where we have a minor support formed at 1829. But if we can get a close below 1829, we can continue down towards 1826 and fill this wick at 1822, right? But if we break above 1832, then obviously we can continue going back up. All right. Are you going to back to Pakistan for holiday soon? Probably not. No, probably in March or April. We'll see what happens. If you were catching the move in GJ 15 minute or you have taken entry on 5 minute, could you wait for candle to close or would it be an impulse entry? First of all, I wouldn't be in any trade at this time to begin with. So that's not even a question. Because for you to be in trade, you need a confirmation, and the confirmation is going to be for this candle to close bearish. This is going to be the perfect confirmation. A perfect selling confirmation would be this candle closing bearish like this, and the next candle breaking the low and then taking a sell for price to continue down to the support. That's going to be the perfect trade that I would want to see form. If I don't see that, then there's no entry. Right? So you have to be really strict in what you want to see visually, right? Because if you can see that once, and if you can execute on that once, man, you're going to execute on that all the time. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is, same idea. Sell sold over here. Once this candle closed bullish, should have closed 50% and whatever. So, yeah, right now price is just ranging. All right, let's do some breakdowns on your JPY. So your JPY also came down to our levels over here. So let's remove all these things and do a little breakdown here. So looking at the daily, we're creating a support on the daily time frame right over here, right? Now looking on the 4 hour is also creating some sort of a like extremely rangy area right here. But first of all, we see a resistance right over here, and above this resistance 126.300, we see another resistance at 126.550. So let's drop down to the 1 hour time frame here. Yeah, I think we're just ranging here on your JPY. People don't have their mics mute. Please have your mics muted if you're going to be on the stream here. Yeah, your JPY is just ranging here. I mean, we have some range here from 126, 297 all the way up towards, 126, 390. That's like 10 pips away, 11 pips away. Pretty nasty if you ask me. I mean, if we will continue up with volume, I think we should just go with one straight candle or one clean candles going all the way towards 126,500. But other than that, it's just pretty nasty range here. Do you think that after trading my session and looking over my trades, I should stop looking at the charts? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, man. Because we all come here to have independence of time. And if you're going to keep on looking at the charts even after you're done trading, you're basically a slave to the markets. So you have to call it a. You need to have that balance, right? So this candle still has 10 minutes to close, and we're going to see if it closes below this area or will it continue straight down. This was a sell over here. Since stop loss 30 minute was too big, consider stop loss above the 15-minute time frame. Lost this trade and managed my risk. Yeah, very good. Very good. Managed risk. Let me see why people took this trade. So this was the 30-minute candle starting here, and this was the 30-minute candle that was closing. Okay, so basically expected the 30-minute candle to continue moving down and not reject with the wick like this. Okay, makes sense. But I guess there wasn't enough probability for price to continue down, because once this candle closed bullish, right, then you had to wait for the next candle to break below. So that was the issue. But it's good you guys managed risk at that point. Let's take a look here. Someone's already in GJ sells. Okay, closes partials here. Yeah, it looks like a lot of people took those sells. Yeah, a lot of people took those sells over there. Same selling opportunities. So I guess everyone who took the sells, you need to create a group and then you need to brainstorm why you should have waited a little bit. Because I saw the same thing. I saw the same thing, but then I was like, man, like 30 minutes about to close. Should I wait for it to close or should I just kind of anticipate it shouldn't continue down? But when this candle just kind of like broke down. Okay, so let's investigate further. Since price is ranging here, so we're going to investigate here further, right? So looking at this 15-minute candle right here, let's look at the 5-minute here. So looking at the 5-minute, this is when the 5-minute candle started. I guess this 15-minute candle broke the low in the. Oh yeah, let's take a look at this on the 5-minute, right? So came down, we broke the low, so sell entries were taken at this point. I think once this 5-minute closed back in the range, you could have secured some positions at that point, maybe managed the risk better at that point once it closed back in the range. Because when we're in a tight range, it's better to look at the smaller time frames to see if they're turning or not. Because if they start turning against you, then you're like, okay, you know what, maybe the 15 minutes is going to turn against us as well. Yeah, I think that would have been a pretty good idea now when we kind of like look into it. And even though looking at this 5-minute, this 15-minute candle closed at 138.278. So when the 5-minute closed over here, even at like, 2 pips below, could have been a great idea. Something to kind of like take into the next day.
So Roger,
hey, come on.
I took my sales above the 15-minute. That little like 4 candles up, that bearish candle that closed below. No, it's over. Oh yeah, that one that closed and it broke it. So I took it from there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So this is my biggest position year to date, and I'm ranging.
Yeah,
Always seems to happen. Always.
Yeah.
But I got my stop above the 30.
Yeah. Still pretty good.
Yeah.
I would wait for this to close bearish and for the next one to break this low. That would be a really good sell to continue down. 138 even. All right. Quick question. Have you noticed that GJ and GU always seem to make the same move in pre-NY, or is it just me? Sometimes it does. It depends what's really moving the market, right? I mean, if you look at GU, let's take a look at GU here. So GU and GJ were mostly influenced by the pound. That's why they basically kind of seems like they made the same move. But mostly in pre-New York, GU is influenced by the pound and the dollar. So if the dollar was basically ranging, there was no volume, then it predominantly moved by the pound. If you look at GJ here too, they're kind of like making the same structure here. You're right. So as we come into the New York session, you're going to start noticing that pound dollar is going to be moving a little bit differently than GJ because there's going to be a US dollar affecting that pair as well. If you're in this trade and you've managed it well, would you completely close out or just let it run since your risk is already down? I would let it run if my risk is already down. If I've already managed risk, I'd let the runner run. But if this candle closes strong bearish here, I would leave it open, right? But if it doesn't close strong bearish, then I would basically look into to see, okay, whether I can get out of this position or not. And then to look for more solid ideas. And I think we're going to have much solid ideas about 138.370, or even if we can break below this area here, 138, 190. Do you agree that price action works in all market like stock, Forex, cryptocurrency? I'm not sure about stocks and crypto. Crypto, I'm not sure because, crypto, there's no technical data beyond 20,000. So it gets pretty hard to kind of like see where price is going to go. Forex, 100%, because we have a lot of technical data and it makes perfect sense to use price action on Forex. How do most news candles have the same effect of the markets across the affected pairs? Do banks place orders on all those currencies at once? To be honest, you want my honest answer? I really don't care what the banks do. No idea. I could give two shits what bank does because no one knows what the banks do. No one here can tell me 100% where banks are placing their orders if they can't see the screens of the banks. You know, we can anticipate, speculate, oh yeah, bank orders over here, bank orders there, institutions here and there, but no one is actually looking at the institution screens to see, oh yeah, they placed an order right over there, I can see it. No, you can't. You know, so that's all speculation. And since that's all speculation, I try to stay away from that confusion, you know, because in the beginning, that used to confuse me a lot. Oh, these are bank zones, these are institution zones, hedge funds are here, you know, like it just didn't make any sense. What made sense to me was just mark out my most recent zones and then mark out where price is going to go after we break those recent zones and how am I going to be in that trade to get to that zone. You know, if someone wants to worry about what the bank is doing, good luck, man. All the power to you. Figure it out. But I just stick with something very simple, man. You have to understand life is extremely simple. It's a series of yeses and nos. You know, trading, the same thing. Here's the thing. My mentor told me this once. If you remove emotions from a decision, every decision becomes really simple. You know, and it's like if we're looking at, let's say, if we're looking at pound USD right now, right? And the emotion side of us says, okay, yeah, like, you know what, this price is going to go down to this low. It has to go down, it has to go down. But if we look at it from a logical perspective, right? Logic dictates that there's a support formed at this point. So price has no reason to go down if we don't break the support. No matter what our emotional state is, oh yeah, but candles are bearish, but this and that, but hey, no. We have to break a technical level for to justify price are going to go down. Same thing with pound yen. We have to break this 15-minute technical level to justify that move down. Same thing with gold, right? We have to break this technical level at 1833, 32 to justify price are going to go up. So whenever you're looking for a trade, you need to look for things that will justify that move. If you can't justify that, it's probably not a trade to be in. Hey, Roger, you are doing the Lord's work. Keep it up. Oh, the Lord is trading. The trading lords. All right, what's this? A range of 20 pips. Do you consider it safe to take a trade? Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be a pretty good trade. It just depends how candles are printing, right? I mean, in this area here, this range is around 18, 19 pip range over here, you know, and I think this is a beautiful range. If this candle can close bearish and the next one can break the low over here, I think this is an excellent range to take a trade. Reason why is because even though this is a 20 pip range, we can still get around 15 pips out of it, 12 pips out of it. And I think for me, 10, 12, 13 pips is more than enough to call it a day. You know, for me to say I took a trade today and I won a trade today. All right. Let's take a look at this chart over here. This is your JPY impulse entry when low of breakout candle gets broken. Is this a good idea? Let's take a look here for sells, right? So first of all, what you got to do is you have to measure the range, right? And if you look right hand side, look at this price, right? 126, 133, and look it down over here, 126.027. This is hardly 10 pips, you know, so it's going to get really difficult to get 10 pips in a 10 pip range, because look at this range. Oh wait, this is 20 pips. What am I smoking here? Let's see here. See, the only problem is you have this minor support at this point, which is causing an issue. And if you come down, this is not enough range. Yeah, this candle is about to close over here. The 15-minute candle. When this breaks the low, there's a very high probability. Oh, there we go. We're breaking the low. Yeah, this should continue down towards, you know, 138.020, 138.040. That's going to be a great trading idea. But the only problem is it broke the low in the first 2 minutes, like in the first some seconds, right? And this is what happened right over here. See, now this is the same situation that happened over here. Price broke the low in the first half of the candle and it retraced back up. Same thing happened here. Price broke the low in the first few seconds. You know, so you have to wait now at this point. Because if you took a sell here and you close in a minor loss and you took a sell here again, man, you just repeated your mistake. So you have to wait at this point. Because if it turns back around and breaks this previous low here at 138, let's say 184, then it's going to continue down because it broke the low in the first few seconds. Obviously, it has to retrace. Normally, for impulse entries to work, candle has to break the low in the second half of the candle. Not like the first half, but the second half. So it broke it the first time in the first half. Now, whenever it comes down to break it again, I think it's going to be a really, really good opportunity for price to continue down. 30-minute candles also closed bearish over here, which is beautiful. Now we just want confirmations on this time frame so we can continue bearish. This will be at 138, 180, I would say. 138, 180. Yeah, somewhere over here it's pretty good. I mean, your impulse entries can go over here and your stops are at 138, 270, like 9 pips away, almost like 10 pips away. And you're anticipating price to not only to fill this wick here at 130, 140, but also continue down towards, let's say, I'd say like 138, 070, 060 first target, and then continue on to 138, even over here. Would it be better to wait for 136 to break? Yeah, you can wait for 136 to break, but when we break below 136, you have to understand your range becomes smaller. So you need a bigger range. Because if you take a sell below here, your range is pretty small at this point, right? But if you've taken a sell over here, now your range is pretty big, but you're also managing risk at this point, right? Because your stops are up over here, 138, 270, and you're basically seeing that price not to break that high, to respect that high, to continue moving down. Now when we look on the 5-minute time frame, we want these candles to start flipping bearish, right? But if the candles just start closing bullish, and if the next one starts breaking the high, then at that point, you're kind of like managing your risk. You're closing some positions off. See, now this 5-minute has broken its own high at this point. If I was in this trade, I'd be closing 50% at that point, because, yeah, see? So that was one attempt. Done. So if you would have taken one trade, that was it. Close. Right? But the main thing is, full stop loss got hit. Yeah, see, that's why I was talking about the 5-minute over here. Once you start breaking the high, you got to close 50%. So now, this trade idea, this worked past month all the time. Maybe the probability wasn't here. So now you just got to, calm down. You got to relax and you got to say, okay, what? I managed my trade. I entered the trade. There was a probability for price to continue down, but I guess it didn't play out in my favor. So if it didn't play out in your favor, that's totally fine because now what we have is now if we break above 138, 370, there's a high probability we're going to continue moving up. Other than that, that was it. So, someone said dislikes are incoming. Yeah. I came to the conclusion that DXY is going to make a big move. Should I trade multiple pairs or stick to just one? The reason I ask is because I want to stay disciplined. Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing would be to just stick to just one currency pair. Just stick to one currency pair. Did you take that trade? No, I didn't take that trade. I'm ending my day here since it's 10 a.m. Oh, beautiful. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is, ooh, nice buys over here on gold. Stop loss goes to break even. Pretty good. Looks like GU also did the same thing over here as GJ. We kind of broke below and came back in, so now price is ranging at this point. Taking one loss in a day is perfectly fine. It's totally cool because you have Tuesday, you have Wednesday, you have Thursday, then you have Friday, maybe, then you have next week, you have next month. Taking 2 losses, it's still okay, but taking the third loss, man, that's when things really start to get hard for you. When you go on and take the third loss, because third loss results in a fourth trade and maybe a fourth loss, and the fifth trade, fifth loss, sixth, seventh, so things really start to get wild after that. So if you're taking one trade and it's been a loss, that's perfect. That's absolutely amazing because you still managed your discipline. Why the middle zone on your GG chart? Is there any key zone over there? Oh, this area? No, this is just a potential support here on the 15-minute time frame. It's like a minor support over here. All right, let's take a look at this chart here.
What's the difference between...
All right, so we have close over here, and you entered a buy at this point. Your stop loss was below this candle, and candle came down. You know what? This seems like a pretty good idea because you had clean candles here to the left. Even though this is from last week, maybe the probability wasn't there at this point. That's it. Because the thing is, we trade based on probabilities, right? When candles close a certain way, when price prints a certain way, we kind of like trade on those patterns because we've seen them work in the past. So there's a probability they work. Sometimes, when we're executing on probability, maybe it doesn't work at that time, and when we can identify that, okay, you know what, the setup was good, direction was good, there was clean range, there was volume in the market, these 4 conditions are optimal conditions to take a trade. If they do not work, but if you do hit stop loss after this, all you got to say is, hey, you know what, I tried, everything was in my favor, but I guess the probability of that thing happening again wasn't there. And that's totally okay because things are probabilities. What's your favorite day for trading? It has to be Tuesday or Wednesday because there's a lot of volume in those days. Tuesdays or Wednesdays, man, favorite days to trade. What was the age when you started trading? I think I started trading when I was 28. Yeah, 28 or 29. So everyone in their 20s right now, if you're kind of like lost at this point, don't worry. I was a super lost soul when I was in my 20s as well. I didn't know what I'm going to do later on in life, but things work out. As you go through life, different experiences, different jobs, like work and stuff like that. I mean, you find a way, or the way finds you. So it all gets extremely easy as you go on in life. Let's take a look at this chart over here. Entered sells at the close of the 30 minutes. Stops above. We're here at 11 pips. Secured 50% at 10 pips. Runners stopped out by spreads. It's pretty good. It's a very nice trade. You took it based on a 30-minute time frame. You didn't let the 15-minute confuse you. So, yes, good. See, now we're rejecting at that point. So I guess now... See, now the 30-minute has broke the low of the previous 30-minute and broken the high. So there's a very high probability we have created a support, right? And if you've created a support in this downtrend and you break this resistance, then there's an opportunity for price to continue up. Linda Johnson, are you ignoring me? Well, there's a very high probability I could be because, there are 2,000 people here sending messages. That's like going to a concert and yelling at the singer, hey, are you ignoring me? Singer's going to say, well, I can't see you. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is US 30, price making a lower high, price making a lower low. Thinking of taking a sell when it breaks up. So yeah, it's pretty good. Or if you could see some sort of a rejection at this point, you could still execute sells for price to continue down. If we see a rejection over there, this is a 30-minute time frame, yeah, that could work. Because if we start seeing rejections down over here and price started moving down, and as we move towards NYC open in about 2 hours, the volume from there can really push price further down here as well. Something to kind of like look into. Okay, we're about to break the highs over here on GPY. We are about to break the high. Hey Raja, just a normal question. How many mentors did you pay before you found TED? I paid 0 mentors before I found TED. Like, I was very strict in my selection process. I stayed away from people who showed fast cars and quick money and huge profits. I stayed away from those people. I went towards people who only showed the process, and at that time, 4 years ago, Ted was the only guy on Instagram who showed the whole process. And I was like, all right, perfect. Having a fast car is totally fine. There are a lot of other guys who have fast cars too. But showing value, not everyone was showing value, so I was like, all right, this is the guy to go with. The thing is, when I was looking for mentors, I was a grown-ass man. I wasn't young. I wasn't dumb. I wasn't in it for the money. I wanted to learn. Of course, flashy things are cool, but I was in the stage of my life where I really wanted to build further on. I wasn't interested in cars and this and that. I still not am. So that worked out perfectly well. Let's take a look at this chart over here. Took impulse entries at the top of the 15-minute candle over here for price to continue down. Have seen this setup before. I didn't close 50% at 10 pip. Oh, yeah, problem. Should have closed 50% at 10 pips. See, now the 15-minute candle is about to close at this point as well. So now, listen. We tried one impulse entry down over here, right? Didn't work. This 15-minute candle is about to close in about 2 minutes, right? And it's really important to see where it's going to close because there are rejection here, rejection here, rejection here, plus we're in a downtrend. So this is going to be really tricky how we want this to close. I would say a better idea would be to wait for the 30-minute to close, because if the 30-minute can close above this area, then there's a very high probability we can continue moving up. But with the 15-minute candle closing, these are issues here to the left-hand side, which will cause some issues. Because if we break this resistance, we're going to do a retracement, 100%. Retracement of this big move down. Because when this news happened, look at this. Is ready to pull out of talks within hours over EU demand. This means they haven't yet done it. They're ready. So this is all speculation. See, not looking good on UK failing, understand need for comp. What this means is that the news happened and price reacted to that shock move, right? There's nothing written in stone. Fundamentally, nothing has changed, right? Everything is still open on the table. So with those things in mind, I think if we do get a close above 138, 380, we can potentially correct part of this move up. So we need to close above that area for price to continue going up to retrace a little bit. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. Finding zones. I'm looking to find a possible TP for buys. Which zone would make sense in your opinion? I would say looking at the smaller time frames would make much more sense, right? Because we got to move step by step because we don't know where price is going to reject, right? So looking on the 4-hour or the time frame I'm looking at right over here, we see that there's a rejection zone right here to the left, but I'm not looking at that area here to the left. I'm looking at if price starts to break up, where's the first opportunity for us to take TP? So, I think this is going to be a pretty good area right here, 138.650, right? And the reason why I say that is because, look, this is when the 15-minute candle broke below the low at London Open and came all the way down and closed at 138.650. So you got to ask yourself, why 138.650? Is this an important area? Well, I guess it is an important area because that's where price closed, right? And then we had the clean move all the way coming down. So if we break above 138.380, then there's a very high probability that we can tap into 138.650, which is a 30 pip range, right? It's a pretty big range at that point as well. So even on 30-minute, we can't see it. On the small time frames, we can see it. On the 5-minute time frame, we can kind of like see in that area right over there. All right. Let's take a look at if GJ closed above 138,400 and moving up. Where do you think it will go next? The range is 60 pips. Oh, okay, yeah, we just talked about that. Let's take a look at this chart over here. This is 15-minute broke support. Was it because 15-minute broke the minor support at point 1 and 2, 1 and 2? Time can invest 16 pip bearish move in London to range. Please tell me if I'm in. Was it because of the time? Was it because of the time accompanied by a 16-minute move? Question doesn't make any sense. It broke the range, but didn't continue bearish clean range to the left. Oh, okay. Didn't continue bearish. Yeah, it was just probability, you know? Probability, because like we had this big move at London Open, so we can't expect price to continue having that big move, right? Because the way how market moves is there will be big moves, then there'll be some retracement, some consolidation, and another big move. So if you can see right now, price basically had a big move, and now it's ranging. You know, it's ranging for another big move. When is that move going to happen? We don't know, but we can speculate. You know, maybe at NY Open, NYC Open, you know, London close. So those are the times where we can expect big moves to happen. So right now, price is ranging. We're also below or above some technical areas. So basically waiting at that point. Gold is breaking above 1833 here. Man, I try to stay away from gold now because there have been times where it has broken a zone and then wicked up 10, 12, 15 pips and pulled all the way back down. Extremely difficult to trade gold at this point. If you normally trade 50 cents on GJ, do you think it's smart to bring the lot size down to 10 cents and 15 cents for gold? Yeah, it makes sense. You could. Because at any time, no matter what lot size you're using, the only thing you're making sure of is your risk intact. You know, are you really risking what you want to risk? Most people, they don't understand what the risk is, you know, most times. You really have to dial down on the risk you're trying to take. Hey Raja, you test this week like we have talked on Friday that changed to ASEC 1 to 500 and 1 to 30? No, I don't test that this week. I don't test that this week because if that is happening from March, I think it doesn't make sense for me to, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want to trade on 30 to 1 leverage because I've been trading on like, you know, 500 to 1, 400 to 1. So 30 to 1, I don't know. Might as well move towards a crypto only broker, you know, so we'll see how that goes. All right. This candle is still forming over here. Let's look at the 5-minute time frames. 5 minutes are rejecting that area. Really strong rejection over there. Let's take a look at this chart here. Ooh, wrong chart by Alex P. Let's take a look at the next one. From what I've observed, after a big move, big news in volume, the true ranges get defined very early. Right here, but perfect. All the retest zones, rest zones, with zones low. Do you agree? Yes. You know, so this is your major range from 138 all the way up towards 138,400. And then within this range, you have these two ranges, right? One range is around 17 pips, and the range below that is around, I'd say like 19, 20 pips. You know, so then within this big range, you have these small areas where you can play into. Wait with gold under 1830s, sell. 1830s. That makes sense. Let's measure that range over there. Ooh, below 1830 right over here. Because this is the most recent support formed here. If you see this range, 28, around coming down to fill this wick, 26, that's pretty good. Pretty nice range over there. That's also a support on the 30 minute. See, it makes perfect sense at this point. All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is waiting for a close of 15 minute above the zone, entering the next 15 minute after the clean up to the left, clean area to the left. Makes sense. Makes sense. A lot of waiting involved here now. Could you give me some feedback on my analysis? Coming from Dang Chi Wen. Dang Chi Wen. Let's see here. Pound yen tried to take the push up to fill this wick over here. Oh, okay. So this candle closed bullish, entered on the retest for price to continue up. There was no retest. There was absolutely no retest. I think you need to look at the 30 minute to see how the 30 minute was forming at this point to really see if that idea was justified or not. Does Magic Key works on TradingView? No, they don't. Japan announced $700 billion stimulus, so we can possibly expect high volatility soon. $700 billion. That's a big, wild number, man, for a small country. I don't think the economy is worth for a $700 billion stim. I mean, I don't know, might be wrong, but I'm not going to take in that information and try to trade. So we'll see. Someone is saying Japan's small. Well, geographically, Japan is pretty small. You know, I mean, if you look at the map, you can see Japan is pretty small geographically. Economically, no, I meant geographically. Let's see. All right, this 30-minute candle is about to close in 7 minutes. In 7 minutes, this candle is about to close. Now the question is, will this candle close and the next one is going to continue bullish, or will this continue moving bullish? And if this continues moving bullish, that would mean the 15-minute candle, this one is going to continue moving bullish. But as per the 10 commandments of trading, we're supposed to wait for this candle to close, since it's about to close in 6 minutes. Would you compare your trading results before and after Magic Keys? Oh, how would you consider? I'd say before and after Magic Keys, trading, it's not about trading has gotten better. It's just that the risk management has gotten better. Way better risk management. Really quick as well. That's the thing. Because when you're managing risk manually, you're basically moving your mouse to your position, you right click, you go to modify order, and during that time either price has moved a lot or you're having second guesses at that point, right? Doing that movement and all that work. With Magic Keys, you press one button, that's it. You don't have time to think, you don't have time to react, you just hit close half and it's done. We're going to be releasing a really good video on how to use it, so I guess a lot of people will find that really informative. Second half hour of gold could be a good drop. Yeah, I was basically looking at this over here. This 30-minute candle coming down. Once we break below 1830, I'm siding in with these sells here in gold, actually. We break below this area, clean moves coming down, 27, 26. All right, let's see this. What What if current 15-minute candle breaks the high of previous 15-minute candle high? Well, if it does break it, then we're going to see what happens. Does Magic Key work with copy-trader? No idea. You'll have to test it out. Okay, so we're about to come down. Ooh, we broke the 30-minute low. 30-minute broke its own low. So from 1830, coming straight down towards 1827. It's like a 25 pip range, 24 pip range. Should be pretty good. Looking at 15-minute time frame, 15 minutes also broken the low over there. In the last half hour of this candle, yeah, would make sense to continue down. 1827. Oh, 1823. There we go. Fill this whole wick. Perfect. Even better. 27, 26, 22, 23. Wow, it's going to be a pretty nasty move if it does break all those areas. All right, this 30-minute candle is also about to close over here. Hey Raja, I've been following you from the past 1 year, learning to stay focused and consistent, watching trades go by. I made my first big profit today. Oh wow. Let's take a look over here. Someone made their first big profit. Took a sell here at 139.450, secured 80% at 13 pips and left a runner and closed the runner right around here. Beautiful. See, I think this is where your runner gave you more profits than the position you secured. Those things do happen sometimes. All right, let's see here. Should we wait for close or take it now since it's broken the low? See, if you're asking that question, should we wait or should we do this? I think the best thing is for you to just take a paper trade, right? And if it works, you're going to identify that it worked. And the next time it happens, then you're going to be able to execute on it without asking, should we enter now or should we wait? Right? There's a big difference there in confidence. You know, because this now is about to close, and there's a probability, there's a very high probability it's going to continue down. But if you're having some sort of doubt, it's better to just do a paper trade instead of actually taking the trade. And if you take a loss, then you're going like, oh man, you know what? This guy said it's going to go down. I took the trade. It was a loss. Like, damn, why do I always do this? So it's better to just take a paper trade, you know, if you're not confident enough. Because you guys have to understand this, right? These patterns are going to happen over and over and over and over again, right? So don't think if you're missing out on this, you're missing out on everything that's going to happen later on in life. You're not. You know, these things that happen over and over again. So far it's running pretty good. Should continue to 1827 here and then boom, boom, with NY open, we can possibly continue down to fill this wick. I can hear Kervin breathing his profits.
Hey man, good morning.
Good morning. Are you in these gold cells?
I was in gold sales around 327 to 227 in the morning.
Oh.
Yeah, I got a pretty a decent move from 1834 to over 1825.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah, it makes sense. I was looking at the chat, and yeah, Ted is calling 1823 is a sensible target, and my ultimate target for gold is gonna be 1810. But Ted said 1813, I think 1815.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We should continue at least till 1827. See,
Yeah.
now this is perfect break and close for price to continue down.
yeah.
But again, it's gold, man. Sometimes it does these crazy somersaults.
Yeah, because basically this 30-minute candle can easily come back and retest 1832. So that's something that anybody who's taking these sells can have to be aware of.
Yeah.
Or it can be a straight drop because the hourly candle looks really good
Oh,
for the drop. Yeah.
this is super clean too. Like once the 30-minute candle breaks below here, it's super clean to continue down.
Yeah. Yeah. So far, the only thing that I don't like is the 30-minute, no, the previous 30-minute candle basically didn't left anything to the range to the downside. So basically, yeah, may have some sort of retracement, and and I'll be looking for this sales last 15-minute candle, the from 7:45, or if we break from now, it's gonna be an impulsive sell.
Yeah.
20 pips of stop loss should be good, but this 30-minute candle is kind of tricky.
And if you look on the H4, it's a straight break and retest. It's just when you look on the lower time frames that it's just a bit more noise.
Yeah.
Pound yen also, it closed above that range, but there's no confirmations yet that it's going to move up.
Yeah, man, I saw that GJ sell-off basically this morning during London too, but I was concerned of taking any sells on GJ because usually you get these heavy moves and it retraces all the way back up.
Yeah.
So I trusted the gold sells better than GJ. You see, gold is doing this retracement. So once we retest that 1832 at least, and we fail to close above that area, and the prices start coming down, I mean, it's gonna be a nice sell on gold, because by that time the retest is gonna be done. So next play, as soon as you start breaking 1829, it's an easy move toward 1825, 1824.
Yeah.
You should be in the last part of the H4 as well. For the wick fill and continuation. Sorry to cut you off, Rakeel.
All right, box up, rejection. This should kind of like do some Humpty Dumpty move and then continue down to this box over here.
Yeah, and hopefully that will be towards the New York Open, so the end of the H4 for that push.
All right, let's take a look at this chart over here. This is huge bearish momentum after news. I risk 1% per trade. I'm very picky about my trades. This. Took a sell over here, entered the sell at the break of the low for an impulse entry, price created wick over here. Why did this trade work out on the 30-minute candle close and not as well on the 15-minute? I managed risk, I guess. Yeah, because 15-minute are weak confirmation time frames. You know, what time frame is this? 15-minute. Yeah, 15-minute are weak confirmation time frames. And I guess we talked about this as well. And what we talked about was that it broke in the first few seconds. You know, when price breaks the low in the first few seconds, it's basically not a good idea for price to continue down. But I guess then it broke again later on as well and came down, and at that point you just had to manage your risk, right? Because it happened here once and then it happened here against this morning. So there was just a probability that it didn't work. You know, and then obviously, like, you know, if you had to stop up over here, you would have managed your risk better. If you're looking on the 5-minute, we basically did a play-by-play, because once this 15-minute candle broke the low, I stated that once it starts breaking its own high, I would close 50% and really manage risk at that point. But I guess Monday, the way this is retracing down, it's getting a little harder for pound yen to continue in one direction at this point. Let's take a look at gold on 15-minute. We're still below that area. Looking on the 4-hour, we're still 4-hour is just deadly. You know, this 4-hour candle closed below this area for it to continue down as well. I guess this is where Ryan was talking about a retest on the H4.
How do you say it? The H4.
Yeah, the people in the UK said H.
That's it. Bully the British guy.
Wow, you're the only Brit talking right now. So anything you say is going to be for, oh yeah, the British people say this.
Did you know what I've realised as well? Non-British people speak better English than English people. So even how you speak, Rakeel, like you speak better English than me. And then it does wind me up when people criticise some of the words that you say that you can't pronounce properly because the language barrier, and you can speak more languages than most people.
No, I can pronounce every word. Give me a word.
Assume.
Assume. Yeah, califragilisticexpialidocious. That's pretty easy.
Very awesome, yeah.
That's something I learned in 8th grade, man.
What, English?
No. English we've been learning since I was 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in school, we learned the English language, literature, grammar. We actually learned. It was a part of our curriculum.
Yeah. And what do you speak, Co, in Spanish?
Spanish. And you know the funny thing is, a long time ago I was talking to an American person, like a gringo, a real American.
Yeah.
So I told this guy, I'm really sorry about my English, and he told me, why you have to be sorry about your English? Feel sorry about me because I only speak one language. At least you can speak two. So
Yeah.
never say sorry because your accent is kind of bad or whatever. At least you speak 2 languages.
Yeah, you're still trying.
Yeah.
I had the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of English people, they're quite lazy and rude when it comes to learning another language, because wherever you go in the world, they try to speak English, which I don't think it's really good for our culture.
Yeah.
Like in school, we learn French, which I don't know why. I think Spanish would be more useful, but they have changed it now. If you're good at French, you do German, and then if you're good at that, you do Spanish, which doesn't make sense.
All right, this chart over here, I like this idea. If we continue up to break the highs here at 138, 422, 420, 400, we can basically start moving bullish and start correcting a part of this move here. Some things to look out for. In Philippines, we study almost every language so we can serve our masters better. What? Oh, what? Oh man. Raja, look to the left on GU. Yes. We see rejections over here. That's what we see to the left of GU. Man, Gulag is wild sometimes with comments. We try to learn every language. Alright, so your JPY is still ranging over here in this range. GU is still struggling here to see if it's going to break up or not. GJ is kind of like in the same situation here too. So let's take a look at the Chinese indicator here. This is an indicator built by one of our great friends. So we see pound is weak over here and it says yen is really strong. This doesn't necessarily mean that pound yen is going to go down, because the price action doesn't dictate that. And this is why indicators are lagging. I know some people who go, man, I know this group out of Florida, and you know how they give signals? They look at this and then they just throw out a random signal. That's what they do. They look at pound yen, pound weak and yen strong, and what they're going to do is they'll go towards GJ and they'll say, okay, well guys, perfect. Your stops are going to be over here and your targets are going to be down over here because, it's weak. And it definitely doesn't work.
And they give you a 10 pip take profit and a 100 pip stop loss.
Yes, that's another thing.
Wow, that's dangerous.
So you see, this is the day when a lot of people get humbled, because price is ranging, there's no trade to take, nothing. There's no volume at this point. Absolutely no volume at this point. The only volume we can anticipate to come in the market is going to be at NY Open, and that's going to be in 20 minutes, right? Gold is also stuck over here. It didn't really break the previous candle's low. It's just kind of like hanging around. Your JPY is also in a range. GU is also kind of in a range. So, I mean, this is beautiful, because price is ranging. 7% a month is pretty good. Oh, nice. Is it possible to risk 10% a month, risking 1% a day? A trade. I seem to struggle and have been hitting 7% every month since the last 3 months. Still want to improve. I think that's pretty awesome. I know guys with $50,000 accounts and $70,000 accounts that can't even make $5. And if you're up 7% every month, I think that's beautiful. The only thing that's going to change at this point is going to be your lot sizes, because when you start to get better at trading, it doesn't mean that your trading gets better, your discipline gets better. You start waiting for opportunities more. And when you start waiting for opportunities more, psychologically, you're waiting for the same situations to happen over and over again. And once you get comfortable in those situations, the only thing that starts to change is your risk and your lot size. And that's where your massive gains start to happen. All right, let's take a look at this chart here by Garrett Clark. Garrett Clark. Garrett was my mortgage advisor's name. Good guy. Euro USD. I hate that pair, man, Euro USD. If we can just remove that pair from the fiat, man.
Yeah, that's finessed me so many times when back in the day.
I hate it. There's nothing more I hate than Euro USD. I have a question for the yellow zone. See the yellow square. Ignore that it's EU. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's going to be actually, let me just pull up a Euro USD chart here, kind of like see what's going on. Even though I absolutely hate that pair. I don't even know what people trade. It's the most manipulated pair in the world, man. This pair has zero spread on it. So a lot of people try to trade this pair. So let's take a look here on the 4-hour time frame. So 4 hours basically rejecting an area. We basically created a resistance up over here. So we got to look at it from an inter-session perspective, right? It's very important. Inter-session perspective. And this is how you're going to look at it from an inter-session perspective here. So we got a resistance formed here. If we break this area, there's a move up till 16 pips if you really want to force it. 16 pips right over here. But before we get to that point, we have a rejection over here too. And this is why I hate this pair. Because look at this. There's no range. It's like 9 pip range over here. What are you going to do over here? Nothing. Then there's like a 16 pip range up over here. You can't do anything over there either. And then you have another resistance right over here, which is about 8 pips. How much is this? Yeah, 7 pips, 8 pips. Nothing you can do at that point. The only thing I can see is that if we break below support, you may have a possibility for price to continue down. And this is even like 14, 15, 18 if you really want to stretch it. So, I mean, your USD, I don't know, man. Look, like you got a support down over here now. I don't like this pair. I don't like it at all. Because, even if you take a sell when it breaks the low here, your first clean candle still here, 11 pips. It's just choose some other pair, except for your USD. Choose something nice like GU, GJ. Your JPY is also pretty good. It ranges sometimes, but it's still good. Where are you from? I am new here. Toronto. If you're not from Toronto, you will say Toronto. If you're from Toronto, you will say Toronto. I'm from Toronto. No, actually, the outskirts of Toronto. Ooh, magic keys just arrived in the mail. Oh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. Hey, I know you don't like AUD USD, but I would appreciate your feedback on this analysis. That's actually false. I do like AUD USD. A couple of my friends trade AUD USD, and they do really well on it. Looking for buys to correct this move up. Price broke support, entered a buy with stop loss. Price broke support and you entered a buy. How the hell can you enter a buy when price breaks support? Do people read these statements 6 times before they send them? I guess you meant when price broke resistance. At 30-minute candle, this 30-minute candle is closing bearish. I can't zoom in this much, man. It's just too zoomed out. So you want a candle to close bullish here to justify that the next one can continue going up. Yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to wait for a candle to close bullish there to justify for the next one to continue up. Is gold going to melt? That's a very interesting question. For gold to melt, well, we thought gold's going to continue down. The 30-minute candle closed bearish and the next one didn't really close bearish. Now, on the 15-minute, you would want price to break below 1829. Yeah, below 1829 for gold to melt. He actually made a Wickfield video about 3 weeks ago. Just look it up. Yeah. Yeah, man. Everything you need to know about Wickfield is on my YouTube channel. And I think by today or by tomorrow, if people don't go through those videos, I'm going to remove all those videos. All those Wickfield videos, I'm going to remove them. Because people come over here, they ask these questions, they don't watch the videos, and yeah, I'm going to remove them. Just kidding. Did you teach FX Daniel? FX Daniel, yeah, Daniel's a really good guy. He's in my group, you know, he joined in to know more about market structure, so he's doing pretty good, pretty good. He hosts the sessions there too. All right, have you been to Nigeria Falls? Oh, Niagara Falls. Yes, they're pretty nice. Nigeria Falls. No, I read it wrong. Do you know live streamer HFX London Session? Yes, he's a part of Market Fluidity as well. All right, why don't we just trade GJ range? Because there's no confirmation to trade GJ range. I mean, why do you want to put yourself through all that stress? You know, just wait. Trading is about waiting. The more you wait, you're gonna get paid. If not today, then tomorrow. If not tomorrow, day after tomorrow. You know, so you gotta wait now. We got NY Open coming up in about 11 minutes. So if there's no volume at this point, there's gonna be volume at NY Open. You know, you just gotta wait at that point. Because now we can see if this candle is breaking the low over here, then I think we can give the sells a second chance for price to continue down in this range over here. Yeah. Got 10 minutes here, man. 10 minutes. Go make coffee. Coffee. You know, get warm milk or whatever you do in the morning. Hey Raja, how much pips should we wait for in a range? It's up to you basically. You know, I go with like 15 to 20 pips. 20 pips is still pretty awesome. 20 pips, 25 pips. Oh, what's this? We got EU interest rates on Thursday. All right. We got CAD rates as well. This will be interesting.
Raja, would you call previous 30-minute candle as a fake out which broke the resistance and closed and now coming back?
In a way, I would say that. Because for a fake out, this had to be like a bigger solid break, you know. But this is like one candle went up and the next candle came down. So we'll have to wait to see how this closes. The best scenario would be if it closes somewhere near support and the next one breaks down to continue down. But we can see it's just retracing at this point. Raja is Indian name. No, it's not an Indian name. It's a Pakistani name. Please tell me the name of your YouTube channel. All right, let's go towards the next question here. What's your normal win rate? I'm new, want to know what to expect. You know what? Win rate, it's not important what a win rate is. It's important how confident you are when you're executing trades, when you're taking trades, right? Because if you're only focused on one trade a day or two trades a day maximum, I think your win rate is automatically going to go up after time. But the first thing you're going to focus on is that how comfortable you are in executing on ideas that you see happen most of the time. Because now we can see right here, right? Price is coming down, and I was hoping that, okay, if this closes bearish with NY open, we can continue down. But hey, who knows what's going to happen, right? But now what we're looking at is that if this candle closes with a big rejection, and if the next candle breaks the high on the 30-minute, then we can obviously continue going up towards, 138, 600, and we can take a look at those ideas. But hey, we're just waiting at this point now. The previous 30-minute made a new high. Is it not good to wait for support to form and to break sales via a similar structure and simulation? Yeah, break of this support. I would say this support would be pretty good. Wow, look at that, man. Gold is extremely good at doing somersaults.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be careful with gold.
Yeah,
Give you bad headache.
Yeah, I stay away from gold. That 30-minute zone is super strong.
Yeah.
Look at that.
32.
Yeah. See, the thing is that the previous 1-hour candle closed with a rejection, and the reason why it closed with a rejection was because the 30-minute candle here, it rejected this as well. And the 15-minute, we created a kind of like a support at that point. So 1 hour then also, I guess it started rejecting here. Do you have a bias at? Oh yeah.
Can you pull up gold so I can tell you what I'm expecting on gold? Okay, here's a trick on gold. You want the body of the current 30-minute candle or 15-minute candle closing below that zone, right? If the body of this candle start pushing away from this area, most likely we're gonna retest this wick, and who knows, gold can give you a really bad headache coming toward this area. So basically, what I wanna see, it's some sort of resistance form, 1832, where the price is right now, around this area. Body of the candle closing below this red line, and continuing to retest this area. Once you start having a break from this area right here, easy target, this one right here, and maybe 1825 somewhere here. But we already had a rejection from that level. So based on the 4-hour, we may retest that area again. Just want to see some sort of resistance 1832, because anything closing above 1832, it's gonna be, like I said, retest over this wick right here. And this is the trade that you don't want to be holding, because it may start creating some sort of range for the rest of New Year session. So it's something to be aware of on gold. Yeah, that's the zone, and that's the zone down. Beautiful.
I will sacrifice my trading account for Pakistan. Perfect. Yeah. No trade. No. Man, I thought he bought a new headset.
Yeah, hey, but he's pretty busy. He can't talk. Ay, ay, ay.
All right. Gij is also coming into this area right now. Some really solid plays are about to happen here. Gold break above 1832, or GJ break this high at 138.410. Because if we break this high with the next NY open candle, we can continue on easy to 138.600. Ooh, looks like gold is also trying to break up here with NY open. Fishy, fishy, fishy. 3.5 minutes left. All right. Are we going to break above here to continue bullish or what? If the next 30-minute candle breaks the high here, this would be a signature impulse entry trade because we had this big rejection, candle closing with a small body, and next one breaking the high. Very strong probability for price to continue moving bullish. Stop would be huge on GJ. Probably not. It doesn't have to. You can have the stop loss below the 30-minute candle that breaks the high. That's going to be aggressive stop. It's something that we talked about in the simulation on Saturday we had. Looks like GP CAD also is creating the same market structure as pound yen. See, this is where your wits are tested. You're just waiting, you're waiting and waiting. Candles are coming to a close. You're getting enticed to enter trades, but you know you gotta wait. You gotta wait over here. Oh, looks like gold has broken above 1832, 1833. I still don't like gold, man. Like, I mean, since it's entering an area where there's clean traffic all the way towards 1836, 1837, hey, if it moves with NY open, beautiful. That's I guess when the volume is in for price to move up now. It's going to close in about a minute.
Gold has zero respect for for the gulag for people, man.
Even if you're not in the gulag, gold's going to throw you in the gulag.
Yeah.
The thing with it is, it has these nice impulse moves of like 15 pips, 20 pips, and if you don't secure them, you're going to get in a drawdown, for sure. That's why I always secure in gold if I'm in gold, you know. But I'm specifically looking at pound yen over here to break the high to continue bullish. Someone is saying gold hitting 2000 today. That's going to be like Superman shaking my hand in about 5 minutes. It's impossible. Gold can never hit 2000 today. Oh, wow. Did you see GJ? Holy. Whoa, this candle's about to close over here.
Wow.
Oh, man. I don't know what's going on over here, man. That just came out of nowhere.
In 30 seconds?
Imagine someone took early buys. I mean, if we break above the high, we can go up, but god damn, man.
Wow. Rip those buys, man.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah, a lot of madness over there. That's why you wait for the candle to close. Yes, sir. Especially when price is moving up to like a support.
See now.
I think you let gold move a bit before 1829 is what we need.
There we go. GG is moving here as well. We should continue up to easily now. 138, 600, 138, 650.
Yeah, I think your best bet with gold is going to be below 1829. That's what you have to wait for.
All right, perfect. So this candle has broken the high over here after this big wick coming down. We also rejected 138, 190. So I guess the probability should be for price to continue moving bullish. That's what I would want to see if it does happen. I think it's going to be beautiful.
But where would you place your stop loss?
Probably like around 138, 300, around like 250, 260. Because if you're expecting this candle to continue moving bullish, then you're not like this is also very aggressive because you're not expecting the next candles to come down in this range to grab liquidity. I mean, it can, but not this low down towards, like 270 or 250. You're expecting it to stay above this area and to continue up slowly without coming down to grab liquidity deep in this zone over here. So that's where this will become extremely risky and extremely aggressive.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I was thinking instead of taking that impulse entry, let it go up and do it retrace and take entry.
Yeah, that's good. That's still pretty good. When you do 2 trades a day, can they be in different directions? Yes. Wow, gold coming all the way down here to 1831. Man, listen, the way the markets are moving right now, with a lot of volume, giving some very shady confirmations, it's really easy to get in that over trading, like mindset with these kind of moves. So you have to be very careful.
Raja, when it went up in like just a 1 minute and it break the previous week, I had a very bad feeling like it will come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with gold, you need to go below 1829. So this area here, and this is our other area here that we're in. So what you'll need is a rejection candle in this area here to then fill this area. But we'll probably get that fill later this morning. Because on the higher time frames, the 4-hour candle is just tapping this area here right now. If you look at the 4-hour, well, my 4-hour. So you see this area here just kept tapping that area there. So now this is a key point right here, this area right there. Once we break below that, then you have this area here, which you have a lot of volume in, which would then equate to this area over here. And that's where we'll get that drop. But right now it's pretty messy. I think at this point, sit back and wait. At least you want to wait till this point right over here. When price, if you're waiting on gold, when price starts to reach this area here, that's when you'll jump into your smaller time frames, and you'll be looking for a candle that looks like this, that has this rejection to drive further down. Ideally, if you trade off a 4-hour time frame, your stop loss would be here, and then you can ride it all the way down, but that's a little too big. You could probably get a better stop when you're looking at your smaller time frames at that point. So let it do its thing. Right now, you might find at 9:30, we get a bit of a movement.
All right, what's this? This might sound crazy, but for the last month, the most profitable trade for me is exactly trading the range itself. Back-to-back, long shorts, 5 lots up and down. It's pretty good. I think when price is ranging, all you gotta look out for is what if you're trading based on the range and price starts breaking out in one way. You know, that's the only thing you need to look out for. And looking at pound yen right now, I still believe we should be moving up towards 138.600. Should continue to happen because we ranged, came down, volume, ranged after that, then ranged pre-New York. So this is New York Open, so we should continue to 138.600. GJ is scaring me. Oh, well then. This is kind of what we got here in gold. Well, for GJ, why not we wait for 15-minute candle to close above resistance and take a buy when next 15-minute candle breaks the current 15-minute candle high? See, the problem with that is that we're in a very high volume time right now. So if you wait for the next 15-minute candle, even though that's a great idea, this one may continue moving up towards 138.600. You know, that's the only issue. So that's where impulse entries come in mind, or that's when a little bit of a, like, I'm not going to say impulse entries, I'm going to say that's where some experience comes in handy. You know, because once this kind of started, we broke the high, we came back down, and then we broke it again, and now we're kind of like hovering above this area. And this candle is about to close in 5 minutes. And if it closes here on the 15-minute, then your idea for price to continue moving, it's going to be very, very valid over there. Let's take a look here. What might have happened here? Ooh, UK rules out continuing EU trade talks next year. Oh, seems like they want them done this year. Looks like Boris took some leadership mentorship from Trump before Trump left. If you jump to the 5-minute, GJ hasn't broken from the range. How do you see that? I don't see the 5-minute. Even if I wanted to, I don't want to look at it because you're basically waiting for the 15-minute to close here, right? Which is going to close in 5 minutes over here. So it doesn't matter what the 5-minute shows. If the 15-minute can close bullish, then we have probabilities for price to continue moving up. You know, because those time frames are going to trump over what the small time frame is going to say. See? right over here. 5 minute, we're still in this range. But if you look on the 15 minute, we want this candle to close bullish over here, and the next one will then continue moving bullish. So my bias would be bullish over here as long as, you know, the 30 minute stays above 138, 370, and the 15 minute stays bullish so that we can continue on bullish. Why is 138,600 target on GJ? I look left. I'm not confident as to why that would be a target. Well, if you look on the 5 minute, 15 minute here, this is what we mentioned around 138,650. So this turns out to be like a 29 to 30 pip range, right? So in this 29 to 30 pip range, I looked at 600 as like a, I guess it looks like a nice number for price to go to, right? I mean, if we have all this range here, it should at least come to 138,600 or 550, you know, those areas.
Is that around? Ted. 1, 2, 3, Ted.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Looking at the hourly candles on gold, will you consider buys above 1830, 1834, coming for 1838 at least?
Okay, so my thought process there, I tend to agree with that, but it depends on what where we're gonna go next. Because it's Monday, you would be basing the idea off the current weekly candle, right? So the current weekly candle is rejecting down from where we had, I guess, 1823 essentially. And then the idea there is what you're saying is, okay, if that is legitimate, then the buys would be good to about 1860 at that point. If you're looking at that. The issue that I have is we had rejection on the daily candles on Friday, so it now becomes, okay, was the Friday candle a breather to continue to move up? Because if that is the case, then you essentially have a move right to about 1850 very easily. With this current daily candle. Not saying that this daily candle will hit 1850, but what I'm suggesting is that as we progress throughout the week, 1850 would be the target. So at this point, if this was the middle of the week where we had more of a structure, then I would say yes, because I would be looking to see if we could extend that trade and hold it deeper till 1850. But because we're still very early on in the week, it's more of like a counter trend trade almost until we get a little bit more of a bias, because this is obviously the first daily candle that we have of the week. So that's where I'd sort of caution. But if you're just going off of regular price action, then yeah, you could say like 1833 to 1838. You could easily hit that, right? Because essentially what you're saying is this candle here dipped, and now we're just going to come back up and fill that range again. My problem is we're dropping. Oops, sorry. You're doing one of these, right? So I don't want to play in this area knowing that we're doing this. That's my only concern. Where what I would rather do is either wait for better structure in the next day or so, or look for positions once we drop down over here. So basically put a price alert at this level, let this do whatever it does up here, because this is not a confirmation of, you know, bullish structure, and then hit this when we reach over here. Because what could happen is this candle here could end up looking like this, and then you start your descent, right? That would be my only thing. So if you're quick on the trigger and you catch the buy up here and then it rips right back down afterwards, that would have been your trade. So that would be my only concern is if you're going to take a buy, you have to be very, very cautious because it could reject anywhere in this area. Obviously, if it doesn't, you're safe. But I'm just saying, based on this area over here, this wick could be coming to tap in this area, and then we start the descent. But for right now, this candle here on the hourly looks bullish. But like I said, it could finish with a wick like this, and then the next hourly candles start to, to dip at that point. That would be my concern. Yeah. If you can because what I'm trying to say is 80% of the people won't be able to do that trade here. But if you can, you probably have a nice setup because you see that this wick right over here has created liquidity to say, okay, orders are going to be pushed up. But how are those orders going to be? How far are those orders going to be pushed up? And then, are you comfortable? Like, where do you place your stop? Right? You can't place your stop down here because now you've got like a 40 pip range and a 40 pip. It's 40 and 40. It's a 1-to-1. It'll be very tough unless you get like an exact close. So that's the only thing. But if you're looking and you're saying, sorry, give me a second here. If you're looking and saying that none of this exists, right? So this is all closed. So then what you're saying is you then have a mirror candle straight up here because you have clean traffic over here, but realizing that over here is a zone, right? Because when we clear this out and we do something like this, that's what we're tapping into, right? So at any given time, we could reject in there. So you just have to be cautious, similar to what happened over here, right? So this zone over here, originally, that's where we tapped into. So when we were saying we should go below here, as soon as we tapped into this zone, we rejected it. And now we're popping back up here. So we're stuck in this range. So you just have to be very careful how you play it. It's a wider range, so you can play it. You just have to be very careful on how you do it.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I agree. It's a dangerous counter trend trade. But if you manage to play it safest way you can get an easy, nice move.
Yeah, ideally, if you had done this, if you had taken the trade off of this zone here, if you had mapped out your zone here and said we're going to reject that area, then you would have been able to see it, because now you can see here these candles all rejected this zone, right? And now we're heading back up. It's just, okay, where are we heading back up to? Like where in this area are we moving to? That's my only scary part. If you had taken a trade down here, then I'd be like, okay, I'm more comfortable, because then I can place a stop, say right over here, and let it go, further up, right? Yeah. It's hard to figure out now based on this single candle, where are we going now?
Yeah, basically the 1 hour candle for me, it makes sense coming to retest 1836 and so on, maybe 1838, but I agree it's a dangerous play because it's counter trend. Basically we're fighting a 4 hour candle, but at that point that 4 hour candle can become a nice 4 hour bullish candle. Beautiful. But it's dangerous, to be honest. It's dangerous. I just wanted to have your opinion on that, because I was suspecting, like I said earlier, 1832 to hold resistance. Now we're trading above 1832. So, and we're basically, all candles are breaking above the previous wicks that we have here. Basically, we have here. We talk about this.
Oh, sorry, I was just looking at pound yen over here.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, don't worry. Go ahead.
No, it.
Okay.
Came,
so basically,
broke,
this.
were you looking at pound yen or gold?
No, gold, buddy. Gold.
So yeah, this is gold.
Okay. So basically, this was our earlier resistance to continue looking for salts. Now we're trading above this area right here. So most likely, we knew that if we break 132, we're gonna come retest this area. Now the next target, SC target should be 1836, somewhere here, and so on. But the problem is the structure. Trying to take buys right now, it's dangerous because of your stop loss should be below 1832, and it's something that gold can easily retrace all the way down again. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to have the opinion from Ted, because I was some sort of concern if we start retracing from that level from 1832, that then it's gonna take some time to look for sales again, because for gold to come down retest 1829 right now it's far for me, it's far from reality. So that's why.
If you look on the H1 though, to the left, there's loads of wicks from rejections at this 34 area. So it can easily do the same.
Yeah, because now the hourly candle looks like we can reach 1836, but
yeah,
that's
like you have to zoom out a bit, and there's a lot of wicks on the H1 that have rejected there.
Looks like some people did got some partial profits at around 10 pips here at like 550-ish. It was a clean break. I guess this last 15-minute candle kind of like pushed up to that 550 area and then kind of like retraced back down. But still above. This 30-minute candle is about to close. 7 minutes. So I guess we're still going to continue pushing up for this New York session here. Gulag is going after Kerbin now today.
Why? What happened? I haven't checked the Gulag.
I'm gonna post it in the chat.
Okay.
All right, what's this here? What are we getting at? How do I send charts, please? Read the description and you'll know exactly how to send the charts. Took a trade, the break of the half-day pre 15-minute candle, got 9 pips very quick and got stopped out at BE at the same time. Yeah, I mean it moved really quick at this time, right? It moved really, really fast, so it was very difficult there to kind of like act on it at the same time. But I do think we're going to continue pushing bullish and retracing this move down a little bit. Looks like your JPY is now slowly trying to break up, but the only problem is that this is not enough range. It's like 10, 9. I mean, it's very small. Looking at
got the order. I've asked about it.
Oh, no. Looking at GJ, it's way better over here. So, I mean, if we get close over here, we can still continue moving bullish. 130 at 600. Oh wow, your USD kept pushing bullish over here. We did reach up to this target. Where would you have entered on GJ? Buy if the previous candle didn't print in our direction. It did print in our direction. So we can't talk about if it didn't print in our direction, because that didn't happen. It did print in our direction. That's what happened. Just bought Magic Keys for 2021. Any idea on the estimated time of arrival for people in Toronto? When you order things online, do you email them and ask them, hey, when's my stuff going to be here? No, right? You just wait. You just sit quietly and you just wait. So that's what you got to do here. Just wait. You know, that's it. Just got to wait because we're no different. If the 30-minute candle closed bullish like this, wouldn't it be a good to go long after the next 30-minute creates a lower wick? See now, this 15-minute candle is about to close. It's closing above this area over here. 30-minute candle is also going to close in 3 minutes, closing bullish. I think it's going to continue moving up. We're going to have a continuation move up towards 138,600. If we tap 138,650, awesome, beautiful. But, you know, we're moving above this resistance, so high probability for it to continue up. That's some good customer support right there. Yes, thank you. Yesterday we denied an order for somebody because they asked us the question, hey, does this also work with a laptop? And I flat out told them, don't bother buying it if you're thinking if it does work with a laptop. Because, I mean, if you don't know whether a laptop and a desktop are two same things, working Magic Keys, that's going to be a big issue for you, you know, and that's going to be a big burden on our customer support team. You know, that's going to be a waste of time, waste of resources. So come on, man, shit. Like you need a brain between the eyes to figure that one out. So that's why, you know, if guys say we have excellent customer support, awesome, we go above and beyond. But when it comes towards really helping you guys out, I don't want people to have it who don't understand the difference between a laptop and a desktop. They're the same thing. Of course, it's going to work on a laptop. And
hey, Roger, man.
Hey.
Just take their cash, man. That's all.
No, like money is not everything. Like, you know, like we need a peace of mind as well. And you know, and like a lot of intelligent people.
Money is not everything, but stupidity too is completely different.
Yeah, it's also
figure it out.
No, it's also a headache, you know. Someday Raja's gonna walk away, leaving the stream on forever. Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, hey, you know what? Screw you guys. I'm going out forever.
In Spanish, sounds really nice. You should say, "Jódanse perras, I'm leaving."
Jódanse perras.
Jódanse perras. Fuck.
Hey Raja, by the way, I would like to thank you again. I got my Magic Keys. I'm living in Australia. It took only 8 days to get it.
Oh wow, nice.
Only 8 days, man.
8 days. Yeah, we changed our shipping. Before it was taking about a month and a half to get to Australia, but we really worked on our shipping. Man, 8 days is pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine took a month and a half, man.
Shit.
Yeah. Amazon hired a bunch of kangaroos.
Well, only because Roger is my homie, man. I know it's coming.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm just joking. My wife said it did take a while though, but it's because of COVID.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look here. Price went in profits and came back to entry, closed 50%. Beautiful. Price went into profits again, and then to entry again, so close the remaining position. Okay. I think you should have left that open. If you're closing partial positions, you're closing partial positions to let the rest of the positions keep on running. That's why you're closing partial positions. So I guess, I mean, if it does continue going up, I guess next time you're going to let the partial position running. Because look, if this 15-minute candle closed bullish, right? It closed with a weak bullish candle, but it's also making a higher low right over here. So all we need is this candle to respect the previous low and to continue up to fill this wick and then continue on towards 138,600. You know, also we're in this volume time over here, so that should make sense for it to do what we said it should do. All right. Let's take a look here. I'm new to here. What is the thing everyone talk about? Oh, what is the thing everyone talk about? It's a risk management device. Let me see if I can get a video of it right over here. Let me see if I can make this happen here for the Gulag. It's going to be a difficult thing to do.
Here is my magic keys.
Oh, can't download it. Well, too bad, so sad, Gulag. You can't see it. I'm going to put up the picture and the website, and you can take a look at it there. Wow, seems like Monday has been a pretty hard day here so far for a lot of people. I mean, if you've taken 2 losses on Monday, just call it a day. You know, there's no reason to stay on Monday to look for a third trade, because the worst thing you can do on a Monday is to take multiple losses, right? If you've taken 1 loss, call it a day. If you've taken 1 win on a Monday, call it a day. 2 wins, excellent, call it a day. You know, if you've spent more than 3 hours on the charts, call it a day. Come back tomorrow, you know, with a fresh mind. Because right now, I mean, it's, even though we do think it's going to go up, but if you've really exhausted the number of trades you should take, or if you've exhausted the number of hours you should spend on the charts, you're done for the day. You have to create these very, very strict rules towards your trading. If you don't have these strict rules, you're going to be forever lost in trading, because you're going to try to call out every trade, every move. You know, you try to call out every pip, and it's going to be very disastrous for you. So you need to adopt some sort of discipline here in trading. GJ is breaking the low. See what I'm saying? You should, because even if it's breaking the right? So can magic keys be connected to MT5 or MT4 on your cell phone? No, it can't be. But what it can do is, normally what I like to do is, if my magic keys is connected, all right, so if my magic keys is connected to my computer, right, and even if I execute things on this, it shows up directly on my phone. You know, we had this one person who would say, hey, you know what, I would go and make coffee, but then I would like control trades from magic keys. It'll be executed on the phone because it's connected to the computer. You know, so that's only for, like, you know, managing risk, closing half, or putting stops at break even and stuff like that. It's pretty cool to see, actually. Like, you know, you press a button here and it gets affected on the phone. It's actually pretty cool to see. Gold is going up. Yes, we have these clean
Don't
candles.
Look at it, man. People are gonna get mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, we said it would. I mean, it's just, where will it stop, right?
Yeah.
So it's a good trade if you took the buy on the upside.
I did.
Nice.
Yeah, Kerwin also called this level at 1838 before, I remember.
That's right.
1836 first, right now. I just closed 50%, you know. That's 1-to-1. Yeah, 1838 should be fine. I will be watching the replay because you know, sometimes I really liked to see what's going on.
Wow, look at this. GJ is coming back, tapping that area again. So difficult now. I'd be staying far, far away from this madness. Hey, have you released content on how to backtest the market? Yes.
Raja, would you call it a good shit if it comes back and close in that range?
Yes, my friend. Good shit. I'm sorry I'm new here, but do you have videos about it? Yes, just YouTube Magic Keys. What is the Bluetooth range of Magic Keys? Sorry if that's... There is no Bluetooth. It's just like your wireless mouse. You see this mouse? Oh no, mine is wired. See this keyboard? Wireless? I can go sit on that bench, couch, and still control it. Oh, that's Bluetooth. Oh, okay. Well, it's Bluetooth then. Bluetooth range is what, 10 meters? It's definitely not Bluetooth. It's not Bluetooth. It's you know what it is, like just like how you connect your
Near field technology.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one right there. Ooh,
Okay, Mulas.
138.
There you got gold. That was the trade for the day of New York.
Yeah, that was. I agree with that, Kerwin.
Yeah, nice trade.
Thank you, brother.
That's pretty good.
It mirrored that candle as we were talking.
Exactly, my friend. Exactly.
Yeah.
138 on the dot.
Yeah, man.
See, now when we look at it now, I think it was a really good entry once we broke the high over here in the 30-minute, which had no wick on the top. Because that would have been a nice, 7 pip, 9 pip stop, even 10 pip stop for like a 30 pip gain, yeah.
Yeah, the thing is too, like we were talking about earlier, is this candle sort of gives it away, right? So you say to yourself, okay, where are these orders going? They have to go somewhere. So it's a good trade if you took that into consideration and then you just said, hey, I'm just going to try and get up to 1838 and manage the trade.
Mr. Erkan FX, good entry for short on gold. Beautiful.
Yes.
This is why you are in the gulag and you will stay in the gulag. I mean, I don't know, man. If it's reaching a resistance and you have no confirmations, you can't take a sell at this point. You need some sort of confirmations to take a sell. You know, and I mean, this is why we need people like this. And even though it works out, right? Even though it comes down, you grab your pips, but for the long term, it will not work out for the long term. Long term, you will always lose on that strategy. With no confirmation, nothing, just sell. Because it's up there, you sell. You know, there's no longevity in that. Trust me. But man, Kerwin, this was a very, very nice move here. Now when I look at it, amazing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was a nice move.
Yeah, let's take a look here. Low created, high created, new support formed. TP level here. Entered a buy as the 5-minute candle broke the previous high over here. Stop loss placed below previous aggressive. Closed 60% when candle broke previous candle's body. Okay. Nice. Yeah, you managed your risk at that point. Very nice. See now, these are the situations which put trust in the ideas that, you know, once a candle has no wick at the top and it's retracing, and once it starts breaking the high, there are clean candles to the left. These are your learning opportunities right here. If you see this move happen, don't look for a sell. Just look to see, okay, this was a big candle and I should have been in that big candle. If you weren't in this big candle for a buy, you basically missed this trade. I missed this trade. Kerwin was in it. He got this trade. Right? So at this point, you need to really see that, okay, how could you have been in this trade? You know, and once you start to making notes on this, you're going to identify that this same setup is going to happen on pound yen, euro yen, on all the pairs. But it's just a matter of fact that are you willing to wait for these things to happen again or not?
Yeah, and I think also too, the important part is understanding where your target is and not overreaching your target, right? 1838 is your target. You close at 1838. You don't say, oh, it's going to keep going, so I should hold it. like I think a lot of people make that mistake is if you took this trade, you have to break it down according to your risk, right? So essentially this area here is your risk level, right? This is your stop, and then this is your reward. That's the trade. Like people have to get used to the fact that a trade is maybe 2 or 3 pips risk and like like a 10 or 12 pip reward or a 15 pip reward or whatever it's going to be. You have to get used to that. In this case, it was like a 20, or it was like a 2 pip reward for a 4 pip gain, right? You have to get used to that, because people will try and hold it longer, and if it reverses, then you're stuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why didn't GJ continue up even after closing above support? Well, I guess the probability wasn't there, right? I mean, now when we look at it, maybe this candle closed with a small body. We anticipated next one to respect the low. Once it broke the low, the probability of it heading up, it became really less. That probability basically started to die at that point. So, don't be stressed. Don't get agitated or get anxiety over you're not getting a trade, because it's only Monday. It's Monday today. We got Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. Wow, your USD came up to this area right over here as well. Even though I hate this pair, man, from my guts, I hate it. But look at that, clean moves all the way up. This is what I was talking about. Either it's gonna kind of like do some minor jumps over here, or there's gonna be like a clean candle moving straight up. Let's take a look at this trade idea here. This is GJ. High time frame 4-hour bullish structure, but bearish trend from London session. H4 candle close below here, which was strong support. Buys from up here to correct the move. Yeah, that makes sense, because essentially we're just creating another resistance at this point over here. So we broke up, made a high, came down. So if we create some sort of a support, then we can anticipate price to move up. At what time? Probably NYSE, New York Stock Exchange. There's going to be volume at that time, or maybe at London close. So because at this time, there's nothing to do right over here. And as you can see, Mr. Arkan FX probably took a sell over here, but now we can see there was no confirmation for sells. Price moves up. It was a measured move, AB equals to CD. Yeah. Where are you going to put E and F after that? You got A and B, you got C and D. Where are you going to put E and F? Those are harmonic pattern ideas, man. What's this? Any trade today? Yeah, Kervin called a gold buy. Before that, we were looking at gold sells. Didn't really play out. 1829 held pretty strong. Start breaking above 1832. It was pretty nice. Kervin called this buy. Price started to move up toward 1838 to the dot. That was the only trade. Then we had some pound yen buys here, but they were short-lived, came back down. So I guess pound yen is going to have some sort of a problem here as we move on towards NYSE, and I think that's the point where we can start moving up. I think this is going to be some sort of a day like when we call the stream close in about 15 minutes, and then price moves after that for NYSE. So I think that's going to happen over here once we start breaking above 138.480. Price can still go up on GJ if this bearish candle closes above resistance, and then a bullish candle breaks the high of the bearish candle. Price will fly. Yes. I've gone back to demo for the last month of the year, and the markets are rough. You're absolutely right. I plan on going back on live by the second or third week of the new year, hoping markets would return. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good idea. I'm going to do the same thing. I mean, it's the reason I'm taking a big break in December, because of some personal issues and just, I want to take a little break. And then I'm going to be back in January, around the 10th of January. and we'll see how that goes. Wow, man! Since gold hit Kervin's target right over here, here's a little bit of a clap for Kervin. Yeah, Kervin.
Thank you.
That's the only clapping for today, man. Nothing else.
Yeah, I think GJ finessed a lot of people.
Yeah, if people are over trading right now and you're in drawdowns, man, this is for you today. You're playing yourself today. Literally, you're playing yourself. Ouch, see you next week. Oh no, see you tomorrow. What do you mean next week? You blew your account? No, man. No, next week. Tomorrow. You know, here's the thing. Here's what happens. When you take 2 losses, 3 losses, it's like something weird chemical reaction goes in your mind and you just want to like look at the chart and you're just like, all right, let me get this trade now. Let me get this next trade. Like, you don't want to let it go. Like, you know, when you head into an argument with somebody and you know you're not going to win an argument, but you still argue because you don't want to let that argument go. That's something what happens on the charts. You know, because when you take a loss, 2 losses, you just want to be like, all right, let me just take this third trade, because I can't be wrong. Why am I wrong? Because once you start to say that, okay, you know what? I took 2 trades, I took 2 losses. Maybe I just want to relax, stand back, be the better man, and just call it a day. You know, when you argue with somebody and you want to end the argue, all you got to do is just say, okay, you know what? You're right. You're right. I'm going to place my ego right over here, and I'm going to get away from this situation far away. Same thing happens with losses. You take 2 losses, you're like, okay, you know what? I'm going to put my ego right here on the table, and I'm going to call it a day, and I'm going to come back the next day tomorrow. Because what you want to do is, even if you're taking losses, you want to be able to come back the next day to be in the market again. You know, what most people do is like they'll lose 40%, 50%, and then they will come back next week because, you know, now they're afraid to take trades because they've lost half their account. And some people are calling out everyone's wives over here, and that's absolutely true, man. When you get into argument with the wife, you just be like, all right, you know what? You're right. You're right. I'm just gonna walk
Trust
away.
me. That's trust me.
You can't win.
I know the feeling, man.
Yeah, you're like, all right, you know what? Perfect. You're good.
Yeah, my love. Whatever you say.
I'm wrong once again. That's what the markets are, man. Just be like, all right, perfect. Wow, 1839. We're pushing on to 1840 here soon. All right, let's take a look at this gold trade. Ted, do you have children? Ted has 2,480 children here in the gulag right now.
Yeah.
Those are the only kids. Took an impulse entry, buy at 5 a.m. candle. Oh, right over here. Decided to manage risk and change my stop loss to break even. The trade ended up going. I wanted maximum. My question is, in the future, should I continue my risk like I did to play out? Yes. I guess when you're closing partial positions, refrain from putting stops at break even. Right? Because not only you're choking your trade by taking partial positions, which is really good, but at the same time, when you put your stops at break even, you're further choking your trade. You know, because the idea of closing partial positions is to reduce your loss if your stop loss gets hit. That's when you're closing partial positions, to reduce the loss if your stop loss gets hit. Because if you close a partial position and if you leave your stop loss wherever it was and price continues moving, you know, there's a very high probability if you're trading gold that you will make more money than you would have if you would have let the whole position run. You know, so I guess in future, just Don't close the whole thing. Just close partials, leave the stops where they are. With time, you're going to get better. With time, you're going to be like, okay, you know what? How can I further reduce my risk in that? But by placing stops at break even after you close partials, that's a little bit way too aggressive, right? And we know gold has like massive retracements, and you might get caught in those retracements and whatnot. Raja, how are you taking break? You are active on the charts, but just not taking trades. Is it your strategy rule to not trade? No, I just feel like not trading at all in December. I have a small account here on the side, like $2,000-$3,000. I'm just trying to trade on that here and there, just like beat the habit, but like nothing really major happening. Because like discipline is a must, man. You need to have super solid discipline over here. I think it also comes with, I was gonna say something, some mic drop statement, but I forgot.
How come?
Yeah. I was gonna say something fire, but I forgot.
Wow.
Yeah, where Gula would have said, "Oh wow, Raja, wow, what a statement." I forgot. I'm curious, when you trade with that size account, 1 to 3,000, what's your lot size? Sometimes one lot, sometimes 0.5. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's not that big. But the main thing is you have to focus on your risk management. That's the main thing. When you start back in January, how much are you planning to deposit in your new broker? That's something I'm not sure of right now. I'm going to decide that maybe 4 days before I start trading. Right now, I don't want to even think about that. Because, like in life, you can make all the plans you want in life. But when the time comes to execute that plan, life may have its own plans for you, and then, I mean, it's a big disappointment when those plans don't play out. So it's better to don't have any expectations. 1 hour about to break the resistance, 30-minute break and retest, potential correction incoming. Yes, I think so too. Even if you look on the 4 hour, it makes sense because the 4 hour also closing bullish here with the big rejection. Looking on the 1 hour, we tapped 1840 over here. 1 hour is also closing above. 30 minutes also closing above this area. So I guess we'll need a break above 138,500 for price to continue bullish. And you can see how selling over here at 1838 was a really bad idea. Because it doesn't play out.
Yeah, that's the dumbest thing you can do, trying to sell.
Yeah.
At that level.
How can you handle frustration when trades go against you and break certain low and you close 50%, okay, managing risk, and then the trade goes in your favor? To be honest, that really frustrates me. No, that's totally fine. Because, I mean, if you're closing 50%, you're closing 50% because you're scared, you're not confident enough. But if price is going to where you want it to go, just be happy that you were in a position which went towards take profit. Be happy just because of that. And be excited that in the future you're going to let the whole position run, right? Be excited that in the near future you're going to have enough confidence that you're going to let the whole position run. Just be excited about that. But for the time being, be happy that your analysis is still playing out with you being in the position or not being in the position. It's still playing out. Just be happy about that. With time, with confidence, you're going to let the whole thing run, and that's going to be a beautiful feeling, man. And that just takes time. So whenever I'm having tough days, I look 6 months from now and I get excited because I know in 6 months I'm going to be way better than what I am today. So just be excited about the next 6 months, the next year. Be excited about 2022. How good of a trader you're going to be in 2022. Because in 1 year, man, your entire life can change in 1 year. I've seen a lot of people come up in 1 year. You know, so all you gotta do is just be excited about the future. Looks like with that 4-hour forming, we can get that push. These guys got me wanting to get a funded Forex account for the mornings. Oh boy. Here we go, another soul. Another soul gonna get sacrificed to the funding companies. Man, be consistent first before you go with the funding route. Oh, I guess 15-minute broke the high over here for price to continue on towards. Will we get 138.600 now and 650? Will we get it with the next candle push bullish?
Yeah, you may get it, yes.
Yes, should get to 138.650 here. We had targets reached for gold. We want targets reached for GJ now. I believe there's always a way to have a positive mood towards market even when taking a loss or missing a trade, because you can learn from it all in good time. Yes, because you can learn from it. What are you going to train today? I'm probably going to train, probably going to do chest today. Yeah, I'm going to do chest today. Chest and legs I'm going to do today. Do you think your USD will sell if the 30-minute candle closed below? I don't know. You have to send a chart. Oh boy, Gulag is trying to roast me on my chest and leg day today. Come on, man, I can do whatever I want. That's still a pretty good combo. All right. G just inching towards 138.600 and then on our way to 138.650. Got a minute and 30 minutes left here. 138.578. If it taps 138.650, even though I'm not in the trade, I'm just going to be happy that my ideas worked out. Because I know this is going to happen tomorrow, if not tomorrow, day after tomorrow, next week. So just get excited about those times it's going to happen again.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. Chest and legs are big muscle groups. I hope you consume enough calories. Oh yeah, man. Ice cream and cookies. Perfect calories for those. It's going to be good. We're approaching 600 over here. 138, 580, 586, 586, 588, 588, 158. I think it's going to get towards 600 here. And strong push towards 138, 650. Can it continue to 139,300? 139,300 is far, far away. We're going to talk about that once we cross 138,650. We're approaching 596, 596, 596, 595, 595. Can we get to 5? Oh, 602. We've tapped it. 138,600. Next is 650. Will the next candle open spike to 138,650? I've seen that happen once. Will it happen twice? Will that push happen twice? There's the initial PTP hit, so the idea was right. Even though I'm out of it, happy it played out for others who are in. Yes. I'm happy if it played out for people who are still in the trade. But if you look at it from a technical perspective here, we didn't really close below 138, 370, 360. We closed above that. You know, the next candle broke the high over here. Really high probability for price to continue on, and it did continue. I think this was a 10 pip move here over here. And if we continue on towards 138, 650, that's going to be another, 7-8 pips over there at that point. One trade, one win. The more I watch these streams, the more patience I have. Excellent. Oh, there we go. We're breaking above the high over here. 622, 624, 627, 630, 633, 138, 640, 642, 642. Oh, close to, 650. We have tapped 138, 650 here. Target reached for the day here. Finally, GJ. Beautiful. 138, 650. Took the whole session to get there, man. But if you look at the way the market structure was formed, again, now when you talk about impulse entries, beautiful entry right over here when it started talking about it's now going to head to 138, 600. Beautiful. 10 pips over here, more 15, 16, all the way up over here. Look at that 30-minute also, higher highs, higher lows, 1 hour as well, 4 hour as well. Just what we talked about. Rejection should continue moving up. Beautiful. Someone is saying, I called it. Everyone called it. Everybody called it. 138, 650.
I called it too.
Yes. Awesome, man. Even I wasn't in this trade. I'm just really happy for people who were in this trade, who took this trade, who maybe secured partials. If you made some money from this pound yen moving up or gold moving up, give a like on the stream right now and go subscribe to the channel so you can know when we go live next time.
From the moment you called GJ buys, it was a zero drop down right now.
Yeah. This is a really good learning opportunity right here based on market structure here. Because you had two chances, right? One chance was here to take buys. Someone, it went up pretty quick. 9 pip, 8 pip, came back down, stopped a few guys out. And then you can give your trade a second chance, right? And how are you going to give a second chance to the trade? Second chance was, again, a really clean impulse entry right over here when we were talking about it. For price to continue bullish. What made you TP at 650? Because of this area right over here. We identified this previously because here's the thing, right? So let's say we don't have this here and we go towards the 4-hour chart. So what we have is a clean candle moving like this. So, I mean, if you're scalping, I mean, there's going to be some sort of rejections here, right? So we got to find out where that rejection can be. So we go down to the 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour, we also see this clean candle and one rejection we see at 139.300. We're like, okay, it's too far away. We go down to the 30-minute time frame. 30-minute also, we see just one big candle coming down. Nothing to see where can our take profits be, right? And then we go down to the 15-minute time frame. Holy fuck, man. And then we go down to the 15-minute time frame. On the 15-minute, you can see that, okay, one candle came down. It closed at 138.650. So then you got to ask yourself that, okay, after we had this big, gigantic push down, what was at 138.650 where candle closed? Why? And then if you look left to the side, let's take a look left here, right? 138.650 here. We look to the left-hand side, and we see some minor rejection here. We're like, okay, yeah, whatever, right? So we're just going to keep this area in mind that, okay, if the 15-minute candle closed at 138.650 after this big drop, maybe this is some sort of an important area, right? And once price started moving back up again, you start to target this same situation right over here, 138.650. And you can see price came up and rejected that area, and basically, yeah, that's it. So, like, if you're looking for levels and you don't see any clean levels, you see clean candles, go down to like smaller time frames to see where there was some sort of a rejection. Because once price starts coming up to that same area, there's going to be some sort of a rejection there too. Now give another like to the stream because of all that knowledge I dropped. All right. Oh, we got some Chinese bots here invading the chat. Impulse entry at break of previous 15-minute was very risky. There was a wick rejection. I don't think it was risky. I think there was a lack of confidence because we kept talking about this is a time when there's going to be volume in the market. There's going to be volume in the market. There's going to be retracement because the news wasn't as solid. So there had to be some sort of retracement, right? So you need to put all these things together. You need to put time of volume. You need to put what happened before. You need to see why it happened, and was that something concrete to justify that price will not go up. It wasn't concrete. There was just like a rumor, that's why price fell, so we had to do a retracement. So when you put all these things together, you start to create a confident bias that, okay, now these things should play out. And the more you see this happen, the more confident you get that, okay, the next time it's going to happen again. And I mean, it's okay if you felt like this was risky, because once it happens again, you're going to be ready at that time. If you're not going to be ready next time, you're probably going to be ready the time after that. But that confidence is going to play out, and you can see now, we're getting this some sort of a rejection from down here and continuation to move up. So if you're not in this trade, obviously there's going to be some sort of a retracement or some consolidation for price to move further up. So you'll have to wait for that now. But there's no entry right here. Entries were down over here, or maybe over here, really risky over here. But entries are basically down over here. Second chances here. All right, so let's take a look at this last chart over here, and then I'm going to call it a day. I'm looking for an entry here after the candle closed TP at the previous support, about a 1-to-1 risk reward. I don't know, man. I think you'll need for price to, let's take a look at this idea here. You would need some sort of a consolidation happening, or maybe an entry was down over here, once we started breaking the high at this point. Maybe that was a good entry. Taking a buy over here is like taking a buy at the very top. See, look at this. This is like taking a buy at the very top. This makes me shiver. I mean, I don't want to take a buy here. This makes me scared. So I just probably wait. Oh, someone else's magic key arrived in the post. Ordered it only a week ago. Oh, nice. Yeah, man. Soon Santa's gonna come dropping those magic keys in your mailboxes. Yeah, I guess that's it for today. Take care, everyone. Stay strong. We'll see you tomorrow morning.
Take care,
Mr.
man.
Raja.
Thank you.
Take care, bud.
Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Shukriya. Thank you.
Shukriya.
Allah.